You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. Yeah, I jump out the booth. Then I might hop through the roof. Count all the rings. My team is the truth, but they some liars to you. And they never sing, but they always shoot. And all of their diamonds are new. And that's why I'm here with villain, cause I really get it. And I need all my honeys in blue. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. Make a choice. I need 100 pack for my boys. Be hating and talking and talking and hating. I bet you I kill the noise. I've been a man like I'm painting. I boost up my rating. You know how I play with toys. Pop out on any occasion, get standing ovations. They can't help it but rejoice. They all wanna follow me, cause I got my foot on the opposition neck and ain't no apologies. 100 yards, you know I own all the property. Daddy's home, you know I own all the property. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You like the top or you just like to lose. Make a move. Been at the bottom, I got the proof. You gotta choose. You gotta choose. You gotta choose. You gotta choose. You gotta choose.
It's that hate, boy.
Yeah, my day ones here to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. It's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. Tell them line it up. Like a 4th and 1, we sneaky when we slide them. Y'all on offense with no defense, now y'all time is up. We make the hits, y'all take the hits, and now we fired up. 3, 2, 1, don't need no break. Hut 1, hut 2, get it straight, that's how I like it. And we grind it every night to make it hit, now it's exciting. See, they just getting cake, they ain't never gonna get no ice. And all we want is chips, ring fingers looking ice. My day ones here to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. It's the whole team. Share it with the whole team. Congratulate the whole team. Cause when you riding like we riding with each other, ain't no I in this. See, we came up from the bottom, me and squad got it. And we made it through them problems, now it's God body. We eat, sleep, breathe this. Wave till they see sick. Do it right the first time, they all try to remix. Yeah, they grinded, but we grinded different. Tell them they time is ticking, but we time a fish. Bet not leave a minute, stop it. Something like the goat off in their pocket. Whole squizzy riding with me, who gon' stop it? My day ones here to dance at the beginning. So you know it's only right, that's how we end it. Came all the way from losing to winning. Yeah, I did it. But it ain't just me, it's the whole team. Share it with the whole team.
A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Joseph now ready to get this one started, and we are underway from Minneapolis. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
Take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Rodgers going to come out throwing. This one swung out here to Jones. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
Got 1 for 1, a lot more to go. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up. The Vikings here hosting Green Bay in the season opener, and they've got one of those quirks in the schedule that is going to work in their favor. They play all 3 of their division home games in the first 5 weeks of the year. After Green Bay today, they'll host Detroit in Week 3 and then Chicago in Week 5. And takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop them short of a first down.
They'll run for it with Dillon. And he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. The surprising move here on the opening drive of the game. And this defense delivers a turnover on downs on the very first drive of the afternoon. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. With Sean Gary that time fighting free and getting to the quarterback. And they get to him right out of the gate. And this defense hoping that that's a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah, when you give up a first-play sack, makes your quarterback wonder if he's going to go to the sidelines and talk with his offense coordinator and head coach and say, hey, you know that game plan we put together? We might need to change it right now.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Lets it fly for Thielen. And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a 3rd down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
A chance for their first points of the season here as it's 1st and goal. Cook will score. Touchdown, Vikings. So a good job there, Charles, taking advantage of the short field, and they score first, punching it in on the short touchdown run.
I love the theme there, right? They didn't have to do anything big on that drive. Took advantage of where they were on the field, took it downfield, put the ball in the end zone. The only thing big on that drive, the 6 on the scoreboard.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
2021 wasn't quite the 11-touchdown outburst that we saw from Robert Tonyan the year prior. A torn ACL cost him half his season, and the Packers still believe he can be the impact player he was 2 years ago after his rehab. Pretty impactful play on that one, and it will move the chains.
Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
Now left side on the swing pass. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They were successful last time finding the end zone on their opening drive of the season, and they'll get another shot here with a 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. They run it again with Cook. And some room to roam now. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Another impressive drive. So they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced to punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Joseph on for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Rodgers will try again on second down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
While few completions on first and second down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on third down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Rodgers. Over the middle, complete. It's Jones. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. And this is caught. Mercedes Lewis with a grab. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Rodgers' throw is taken in by Jones, and they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
This Welty's touchdown, Packers. I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving. Crosby with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're hunting really well.
The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. They run the counter with Cook, and not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There's absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. On play action, Cousins. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest with a guy with that type of speed. You do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown on their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. On play action, Rodgers. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's third down.
Well, they sent him on the blitz from that linebacker spot, and boy, he got there quickly.
He certainly did, and obviously he could have used a block from his running back, but I think you nailed it right there. The defender got into the backfield so fast, it was hard for anyone to react.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And that is incomplete.
So after 3 drives and 3 touchdowns combined between these two clubs, finally we get a defensive stop.
Yes, and welcome to the party, defensive players. And glad to have you, because for a while there, it almost felt like it was 11 going downfield on air. Okay, so to be able to have someone come up, make a stop, now we got a football game going.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. That's taken on the 25. And a nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And it will be Vikings ball, first and 10.
They're on 37-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like, because the pressure is on one side, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge, because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for first and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
Credit the defense there to Quay Walker, getting behind the line of scrimmage before they could rip off any sort of a gain.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. They go play action. Cousins. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's third. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Working out of the gun, Cousins eluding the pressure, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Rashawn Gary in there to get him once again. That's 2 sacks for him now here on opening day.
4th down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph from Minnesota.
From the right hash, this from 53. Joseph's got it, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to the rescue, because you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp, and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one. On first down, Rodgers. Got a man, that's Lazard. And he's going to have the first down as they move into field goal range here at the 25-yard line.
24-yard gain on the play. First down, Green Bay.
Rodgers to throw once more. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air, and defensively, they were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Rodgers, and he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number one. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
The kick by Crosby is good, and they're back within a touchdown at 17-10. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. So time perhaps for one final kneel down before they take this lead to the locker room. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Big Kenny Clark that time pushing upfield to make the tackle for loss.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage. Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Play fake. Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And he's got room. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings.
Like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
Plenty to praise on the play, but this is also a bit of a breakdown defensively because you've got to be right on him when he makes the catch. Otherwise, he has the ability to really make you pay, and he does right there, picking up excellent real estate after the catch.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage he was able to tack on after the catch.
Joseph now to have the PAT. And the lead is up to 14.
Makes the score Vikings 20.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham.
And he's going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. On play action. Now Rodgers.
He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
Following the interception, Cousins.
Swinging this out wide here for Cook.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Left side, Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Vikings are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. And that run going to put him over 100 yards now for the ball game as well.
Yeah, he's really had his way so far, and that's just more of the same right here. All he needs, just a little crease, and off he goes.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On play action, it's Rodgers. They're going for Lazard, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Now a dump off here complete. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. Play action now. Cousins steps away. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
2nd and 10, 3rd quarter of the season opener. Cook up the gut. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, 26 yards. And the Vikings get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a 1-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, here's Jones.
Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. Shreds it with a stiff arm. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. They'll run with Cook, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. And they've got the huge lead now. They have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
Tackle made by Devondre Campbell. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Cousins now. He's going to get this one down to Cook. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3, and they've had that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know, if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this 4th quarter. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield with man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays just like that one we saw there.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Rodgers. It's caught by OBJ. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 43. Here's Rodgers to throw. Complete. This is Lewis. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw here pulled in by Lazard. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 21.
First down,
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailed by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open man, this is Lewis. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. On play action, Rodgers. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Cameron Bynum. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this is really the start to the season that you're hoping for if you're a coach or a player. They've got the big lead here in the 4th quarter, and now can really take some time off the clock. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Cousins here to throw. To the right side and complete to Jefferson. And they work this out past the 25. 22 yards there, a first down. They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, it's Cook. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Well, up big here in the 4th quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They can continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. And this is dropped it incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone as time has run out on this ball game.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1, and to come